With yours truly, Leonard Gildari. Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show.
Let December 2020 be one to remember. Drive away with an Axio car from Predo Baby with 4 different options to win. Follow us on Facebook at Predo Baby South America. Predo Baby diaper is known for its premium quality and high absorbency level. It keeps your baby dry and comfortable with its stretchy waistband. Available in regular paste and pull-up pants style from newborn to stage 7. See press for details or contact us on 233-2473. Predo Baby, the diaper of the new generation.
Everyone, welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana Show here on Kaieteur Radio. It's a beautiful day out there. The sun is out in some kind of water. It's look a little overcast in some areas, but it's better than yesterday. It's a little better than yesterday afternoon. This morning, some rains, but it seems to be headed into a beautiful day. It's not a beautiful day though in the United States of America, where the citizens there and the whole world are watching as to what is playing out with the elections 2020. It seems as if it's almost like a mirror of what would have happened in Guyana a few months back, or is it? I leave that up to you. Seems as if there's a lot of things that are similar, including court cases. There's some objections to some area, Pennsylvania, among other places. So that is a story that we have to continue following. We did say that it was going to be the grandmother of all elections for the United States, and it is because of Trump, the man Trump, and of course Biden there nipping at his heels, or would you say that Trump is nipping at his heels? So America, the whole world waits. It's day 2 after or it's day 3 since the elections of the United States, and still waiting. It might take a few more days based on what is coming out there. There's some challenges, legal teams being raised up there, going to courts and so on. One to file cases, the other one to reverse them. So we will pay attention to that. So it is November the 5th, 2020. I want to say good day to all who are joining us here today on Kaieteur Radio. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Saffron Street, Charlestown. We're also coming to you live on 99.1 in Esquible and Demerara, 99.5 in Berbice. And you could also get us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So we head straight as normal to read. I must tell you that today I'm very disappointed that I've been basically calling on a number of persons to turn up. But it seems to be a very busy week for government officials. Some of them are in the different regions. Some of them are, one of them at least, who's supposed to be here from the Ministry of Health, is somewhere in the in Rupununi Savannas there in Region 9, the health folks. In the meantime, the people with the finance and the people with the finance as well as the COVID-19 cash grant there want to chat with them. They have been caught up with a number of contracts and emergency meetings, and so there's a big thing. So there's a lot of logistics. So they've asked me to just basically bear up. I'm disappointed because I really wanted them on, but I'm going to tell you a little more about your pension books and so on, because there are some works that are being done there, and I did speak to the minister this morning, as well as her permanent secretary, that's Minister Vindhya Prasad, Dr. Vindhya Prasad there. And so she did indicate to me what are some of the things that they are doing. In the meantime, we are headed to our country's largest newspaper, your favorite newspaper. There's Kaieteur News, November the 5th, and at the top of the page here, Joe Biden moves closer to the presidency if Trump launches legal challenges. And of course, the country, including this country here, seems to be having some opinion. A lot of people like Trump, and of course, he was the president for the last 5 years. 4 years, so thereabouts, and coming on back here, it's a very close race as we see, and so we will continue to pay attention to that. Low cost Liza Phase 2, arguably the best project in the oil industry, and this is the one of the partners, the Hess company, which is one of the partners in the Starbuck block out there. Chief Financial Officer, during a recent meeting with shareholders and so on, did say that this is the best project that they have on table because of what's happening with oil prices and so on. It's low cost, it's very low cost, and so they're dropping everything. They would have been selling out Mexico holdings and so on, so they could concentrate on raising about $500 million to plug into the Liza 2 project. And so they're saying that that's something they are banking heavily on Guyana to make some profits. In the meantime, what are we getting? And they're calculating this based on a $25 per barrel, US $25 per barrel there. So that's a story there. We continue to follow that because Guyana is so lucrative in terms of the deal that these companies would have gotten, that they're dropping everything, come here. What about the people of Guyana? Do we have anything? Did we get a good deal? Let's continue in there. Monitoring borders remain a challenge for government, health ministers saying. And of course, in this story here, it's pointing out to the wide open borders. It's continuing to challenge security forces in which people are coming backtrack or illegally across the borders at various points. Some of the areas illegal crossing points, and there's very little that we could do because we don't have enough resources on the ground. And of course, this is impacting heavily on especially the outlying areas there in Guyana. We've seen numbers raised. Car truck burn up, cyclist truck down on the east coast of Demerara yesterday. So 2 trucks and a car. The car apparently hit a bicycle guy, and fortunately that bicycle guy, I understand, is okay, but might have some injuries. But the car ended up into 2 trucks, burst of flame, and fortunately nobody else was injured. But the trucks and the car, they've been badly damaged. Well, the car is gone. One of the trucks was totally on fire, had some kind of inventory in it. Coastal areas swamped after heavy rains yesterday, and we did talk about that. All across city waters have been gone down considerably because of drainage, and so the water was too much. The rains was too much for our drainage system, which combined with the garbage that we people have been so diligently been throwing into the drains and so on. We set up dirty people. Well, it's a combination of not enough drains. We don't have the capacity. Fact that we below the sea level. It's all a combination of what we see. It's an ongoing something. It's not going to be just about this government. It's going to be about all government that come here. They would have to grapple with this below sea level issue here and our drainage issue when heavy rainfall comes. So police and youth clash over the solving of the West Berbice murders. We call that this case is still, some people are still to be charged, or there are no charges laid as yet. We are brought in overseas exports. The police issued a reward issued a notice of reward of about $3 million for anybody could come for information. Lawyer for the family, Nigel Liu, says, the fact that you haven't solved this matter and the fact that you have put out the $3 million award says a lot about your capacity as well as your ability to solve this case. And the police were hit back at him, so there's a clash. There's a standoff. Well, not standoff, but there's a clash in opinions there as to whether we did enough on behalf of the police, and of course the lawyers saying that you did not. Couple from Boynton House identified the business owners. Police suspect murder suicide. So this is very sad. Leroy King was found with his wife, or his common law wife, Cindy Moses, in their Eccles home, burned to death. It's believed that it's a murder suicide. Police have not conclusively said that it is so, but said that's what it's suspected to be. In the meantime, we go quickly across the newspaper here. Billions for free. Where is your voice? That is the page 7 blunt of the Kaieteur newspaper here. So we head down. Them boys. President Ali threatens visa sanction on Donald Trump. And of course, it's satire. It's not very serious, but it gives you a little something to laugh about. What could be, given context of the past elections over the last couple of months in Guyana versus the United States elections as well. So we go down and let me see what else is happening here. There's a photograph of people standing very close at Grove Police Post Office here, pensioners, and it seems this is totally unacceptable. I hope that post office has learned and they're doing something about that situation there. Okay, so let's head straight into some of the big news that we would have had today. So wherever you are, let me just stop here and say a good day to our folks overseas. I want to say thank you for joining us as normal. Every single day, day in, day out, we have these people with us, and so it's always good. I think they're starting to think that the people in Guyana here at Kaieteur Radio are part of the family. Well, we are. We are your family, and we're very happy that we could be beaming right into your home or wherever you are in your business today, whether you're in a factory, whether you're in a store down Regent Street, in your car, in your kitchen, in your bedroom. You have on your phone tuned into Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or YouTube. I want to say good day to you. I want to say good day to the folks down in the United States of America paying attention to the elections here. So very quickly, let me tell you what are some of the things that you should know today in the Wake Up Guyana show. It's part of it here. Ministry of Human Services has put out several notices how you could pick up those pension books. I did see a number of persons calling us yesterday, and they're raising the issues about where they can because they did not see any notices. I did tell the minister and her permanent secretary this morning that the people are saying that they did not see it and they're not aware, and they said that they prepare notices so they could publish it in the mainstream media. So in the meantime, what you could do if you have somebody who has access to the internet, on Facebook you go to the Ministry of Human Services website, and they could tell you the various places that you could go collect. I'm going to try to probably bring it down in a very short while, read it to you so we could be able to share that with you. GPL versus GT&T. I must give you a story what happened the last evening and tell you that I'm paying very close attention to this. So there's a telephone line that hangs in front of my house that is leading from the pole to the house. And I think GT&T hang it a little low. Whatever is the case, whenever big trucks with anything hanging out of it, on top of it is very high pass. It's always hooks it. I've been complaining about it. In any case, GPL passed there. They had to look something for emergency post or something that they were looking into, not too far from where I live in Diamond there. And the pass hooked the thing, so the family ran out and said, "What are you guys doing?" They drove away. The family member went to them and says, you just hooked the thing and you just drove away. They says, "Well, you could take the picture, post it onto Facebook. You do whatever you want to do. We don't really care." And so the family member, of course, complained to me. I got onto GPL yesterday, last evening, in fact, and I got onto the PR department. I said, "Fix it, or else I'm going to fix it the way that I know how." The person, somehow they were able to raise the supervisor. The supervisor went over to the house and apologized on behalf of his people. So that's very good. The other issue that I had now, so I filed a complaint with GT&T for them to come fix that wire, raise it a little more up in the air, because my house is a flat house, one of those single-story house. And so I said, "Please come, send your people. It's emergency in the nature. The wire is hanging across the road, and if you pull it, it's going to pull it out to the wall, damage my house, damage the wire. You need to fix it. It's emergency in nature." They've been back and forth with me. We did file that. I also went on to Facebook and made the complaint, and somebody was engaging me. So I'm going to pay attention how fast they fix this issue. So that's GPL versus GT&T. So I like testing system here. And of course, the rains. 131 more person died this morning or today. 54-year-old man from Region 4. So we have gone to 131 deaths now in Guyana because of COVID-19. Do we need to say more as to what you need to do, folks, with regards to elections? Not election, but COVID-19. Need to protect yourself there. This is something that is getting out of control. Every day we lose one of our own. Do you know what that does to our people? I mean, I'm not sure what else we could say. Please protect yourself. Please protect yourself. Why is it that we close our airports? Why is it that we have the pandemic measures and you can't take the steps to protect yourself? I'm not sure. But you would see people walking all over the place, people doing what they have to do. I went to the street by Grove Market Street there and I saw students walking almost next to each other without face masks. I tried shouting to them. They look at me, look away. They don't care. There was another situation this morning. I see the Horstellan NDC chair. This is Romel Rupnerine complaining this morning. They did, as NDC chair, he did complain to the former minister or Ministry of Public Infrastructure about the need to clear some of the drains by the river dam on the east bank there. This is in the Horstellan farm area. At that point in time, and this is a story here. You remember I told you about that there were thousands or literally hundreds of persons, Venezuelans and otherwise, who have taken the river dam and squatting on it, building structures and so on. It's almost, there's even bars open there, and you could go buy drugs there and so on. You can't, what the NDC chairman complained this morning about, that you can't send the excavator up there now because you have structures in place. So we have issues here. That's what squatting does. That's what not having enough regulation or having a place regulated, not paying attention to what you're doing would end our country up into. So if somebody didn't act at a point in time, you see in right now you have to go uproot a bunch of people for the sake or for the better of an entire community. And then there's going to become an issue with itself because we would have to find the money to remove those folks. And it's getting to become a permanent something. This is something that we'd have to engage not only the different ministries, but also the government by extension, the president and everybody. The issue of migration into this country here has to be looked at, and it has to be done in a very systematic and a very controlled manner, that we at the end of the day would be able to say, look, we have Tom, Dick, and Harry into this country. There should be a system in which the people are registered so we could make good citizens if they have intention to stay here on the long term. You don't want people just visiting here and you just sticking there and you don't know who they are, whether they have criminal backgrounds, whatever it is. So we need to be very clear. Any country that's worth its salt would take the necessary steps to protect itself. And there's nothing wrong with us asking, nothing wrong with us discussing these issues. It's all about the protection of this beautiful country of ours. So in the meantime, there's a big story. Well, it is kind of Priya Manikchand versus Anat Arjun. And Anat Arjun says you need to look into those laptops and tablets. So what are you guys doing about it? You're not doing enough. And Priya Manikchand, as the Minister of Education, took a lash back at her. I am going to read that to you guys in a very short while. And of course, we are going to be looking at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines elections over there. What is happening with the elections there? Ralph Gonsalves, his tenure there, he's been a consecutive prime minister there, leader of that St. Vincent and the Grenadines there. He would have been an outspoken man when it comes to Guyana's elections here. Not well liked on some sides of the divide in Guyana here. But at the end of the day, he would have spoken out about democracy, the rule of democracy. Well, his his leadership is on the threat because of elections right now, and is it going to be a close one, or is the veteran going to be leading his country once again? Elections on today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So in the meantime, let me. I think we have a couple minutes very very quickly. We are going to be headed straight into. Let me see. Let me read the prayer manic chanting for us, because I thought it wasn't that it's very funny, but it's good that we have people that are talking. So Annette Ferguson, she was a former minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. Also was at the Ministry of, or the CHMP, I think it was that she was there. So she went to Facebook, and this is what she says. What about laptops and tablets, Priya? Start thinking outside of the box. Should take a page from Trinidad and Tobago and the Jamaican government to see what they're doing. And Priya Manik Chan, she is very good with words, like Anilan Lall. And this is what Priya Manik Chan says. And I wish that we could really take this conversation, which we could have leaders on both sides, look at things again and maybe put their heads together. But this is what she says to Annette. Deary, your government collapse this is one laptop per family program and replace it with nothing. Typical of the PNC APNO AFC, where they break everything they touch. If that program had continued, our children and teachers would have had devices. Still, though, connectivity would have been a problem because, again, your government refused to liberalize the sector. Someday, the public will get a full story here about the whys and the wherefores of that odd decision. The PPPC has liberalized the sector, although just a few weeks of being voted into office. So soon enough, I hope that we could see affordable and reliable internet. If you need help with understanding how liberalization would help here, hit me up. I've always been happy to chat. And Trinidad, well, our good neighbor has a serious device deficit, as do most countries around the world. You see, my friend, there's a shortage on the world market. At least the reports in the news says that TT, Trinidad and Tobago, is 60,000 devices short and could not effectively carry out the type of online program that they envision and their students need. And Jamaica, well, they're opening up the schools now. But hang on, you were in government less than 3 months ago, and they did diddly squat to get our children learning and engaged. I would have been happy. I would have been glad to find even a half plan. So your vision and so on, well, that is a sanctimonious gangstering that made you peeps notorious. Nighty night, and so that is Premanik Chan and Ferguson. I'm not saying who won the battle there, but that is the situation. So we go straight across to the Ministry of Human Services and Security. You guys were asking about pension books. Well, we try to help across here. So let me see. Region 10. So they did say that, I think, let me see. They have started in Region 10 and they are looking, you need to, because this is a lot, 10 regions, I might not be able to read out everything here, but they have it there on the Ministry of Human Services and Social Protection page there on Facebook, and it's talking about Region 10 here. Region 10 between 2nd and 4th of November, 5th and 6th of November, and it goes all the way to December with the sharing out of the old age pension books. Therefore, the ministry, this is the old age pension book, and they're also doing the shut-ins, what they're talking about, the criteria for shut-in. A shut-in is a pensioner who's confined to his or his home, their home, due to some sort of infirmity, due to physical and mental disability, or who is without assistance, unable to leave the place of residence, and confined to a wheelchair, visually impaired, or bedridden. The ministry is appealing to the public to adhere to the criteria to facilitate the system of distribution to the specified target group. And so if you want to call there, it's 623-1771, and we did try to call the 227 4410, 227 4410, or 623 1771. Yesterday we did try to call there. And of course, it's not only Region 10. I think it is also, let me see where else. They put up there for Region 5. They have it there for Region 3. Let me see where else. Old age pension, region 3. Yes, and so the various regions on there are there. Let me see where else. Region 2 as well as there. So I think we are going to be, I am going to have, I did speak to the permanent secretary and the minister this morning, and they said they're going to put it in the newspaper as well. Um, uh, so in the meantime, let us see what is it that we need to tell our people here today. I want to say good day to the folks down in Berbice. Of course, Demerara and Escobar not to be forgotten. A lot of people calling me from Berbice about the various things there is happening. I think in Escobar, somebody called me this morning and they're talking about next door neighbors having body workshop and having you're doing welding and things like that, and how it's affecting. So one of the topics that we'd have to move on eventually is having some chats about zoning, about the fact that if you're planning new communities, about the fact that the regulators, before you give permission to a business, make sure that that business is not affecting the neighbors, not affecting residents or senior citizens, because one of the big problems that people are getting is the noise issues, is the dust and air issues. If there's a commercial activity that's going not too far from them, that it should not be done in such a way that is going to affect you. I've seen supermarkets block up an entire street so they could continue doing the stuff. I've seen tire shops on the East Bank. I've seen hardware stores on the East Bank. I've seen people just parking just because they feel like they can park, take over a whole pavement along the East Bank. We've seen vendors and so on throwing up the truck anywhere because you know what, somebody's not paying attention and striking it or nipping it in the bud as soon as they get it so or they see the situation that they could deal with it. So it is there. But right about now, it is an insurance time. It is a better value for better protection. Get your cargo and ship covered with us today. Ship and cargo rather covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regenton on Knox Streets to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. And so that's CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. Do we take a break right now? So we're going to continue here. Right about now, because of what we're doing here, I want to open these lines here. Let me don't talk anymore. It is 226-7453. And of course, send those messages to 6222222. Like I said before, I don't see my co-host who was a guest here. She didn't turn up today, so I think people are a little. I hope hopefully that she's gonna turn up or somebody's gonna turn up and keep us company here. What we could tell you that we are seriously looking for somebody who could have the faith and be patient with our people because they have a lot of demands. I'm gonna try to do it as fast as we can. I did see Mr. Glenn Lall this morning, and Mr. Glenn Lall is preparing. I think he's thumping his chest there to come on to the radio. He says, I am coming on, and Gildari, I'm coming on to the radio and talk to the people. So I hope he's not granting me. You know what granting means? If you're talking again, in terms if you mean you're fooling somebody or I don't think he's that kind of person. He has a lot of guts. That gentleman there, Mr. Glenn Lall. So I want to say good day to you, sir. He wants to talk about something, and I tell him, come on, what you gonna talk? Don't talk to the people, talk to me, and I'm gonna be talking to you. And so he is gonna be there talking to us in a very short while, maybe in a couple of days. That's hopefully. I probably would have to go back and give him some courage there. He is normally in a normal open forum there, but radio is a different thing. You actually not seen anybody, and so you have to keep thinking, how you're going to engage the folks there. So 62222. I want you to send those messages there. Do not call us on that number. What you could do is send us the messages on WhatsApp or text us normally. I'm going to try to read it. What's affecting you? What do you see? What do you think about the U.S. election? Should we be concerned whether Trump goes in back or Biden goes in there? How is it going to affect us? What are some of your thoughts? It's 100 days for Irfan Ali being sworn in as president. Did he do a good job? I want to hear from you guys today. What is it that the Irfan Ali-led government needs to do for this country? What more can they do? A lot of people still complaining about the COVID-19. There are two or three sides. It's a big campaign that's ongoing there to share out $25,000 across the country. Of course, those people who would have been tenants and so on, not necessarily receiving. So they have to come back to them, and that's a big issue there. Ken, we need to talk to somebody with that. So in the meantime, do we have a call on air? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Leonard?
It is.
Now, here, I would like you, if you can contact the ministers, them, tell them to advertise this pension book they're sharing.
I did do that. I did do. In fact, the PS and the minister says that they've been instructed to do it. You might see it in the papers always tomorrow, but they're doing it. They're doing it right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, so we have it right now. But now, if you need to know where, let them. If you have somebody who has Facebook, let them just go to the Ministry of Human Services and get it there for you.
Many people don't have Facebook.
Yes, I know that. I know that. That's why I did talk to them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So that lady there, I want to say a good day to her. People are really concerned about the things that matter: money, pension. And if you guys are young and you're listening to us and you have you have a possibility of paying your NIS, insist whether you are self-employed or not. Make sure that you pay your NIS because it helps. When at a later date, let's hope that this government pushes that old age pension up from where it is right now, between $20,000 to $25,000 there. That in a couple of years they could push it to about $50,000 to $100,000. We could look forward to that. And if you get that along with your NIS, and maybe sometime or the other there would be cash grants because we have so much money from oil. Let's hope that we get it right, that you could be able to live some kind of a level of comfort when you get into the old age, which in a couple of years I'm going to be there, maybe about 15 years, 16 years. I can't tell you my age here. Yes, I can tell it to you. I'm in the mid-40s right now. In a couple of years, I would be there, and I'm hoping that Guyana, we could be able to have that level of comfort. Imagine if every Guyanese that has reached pensionable age could get the equivalent, maybe about $1,000 in pension every month. It improves your life. It lifts you to a next level. So we could aim for that. But in the meantime, you need to start being smart. You need to start thinking when you're working. Do not wait until you're 50, 60. Start thinking about pension. Start thinking about it when you're young. What is it that I want to do when I reach 60? Could I go by my family? Could I do that? If you don't have family, what do you do? How do you protect yourself? Are you going to depend on $20,000 to carry through the entire month? Many families are going through that. Many pensioners, and it's very, very hard. When I saw that photograph of the post office, it breaks my heart. It literally breaks my heart to see those people just line up right next to each other. They don't really care about the health risk for COVID-19. I blame the post office folks because they have to take stands. But do you take the people, you put them out and say 5 people at a time in the post office? What's the answer? The answer is that we need to solve these issues because the people are going to turn up there if they know that pension is going to be paid. They want the money. They don't really care. They're going to stick by and they're going to have their money there. I know some people are going to be upset with seeing that picture in the paper there, but for me, every single day when I sit here or I work in the newspaper downstairs, I try to look at how could we lift ourselves to another level. What are the stories that we need to put out there that's going to think? Is it the normal crime stories that everybody wants to see? Or do you want to see the serious issues about bread and butter issues that affect you, about the stealing that happens, about how people take away the money that is supposed to be coming to you? How is it that they rob you on your contracts? How is it that you could get a little more oil money? These are things you need to talk about. These are the conversations that you need to have. You need to talk about the pension. You need to talk about old age pension. You need to talk about help if you need to go to the hospital. What kind of assistance, medical assistance they should have. If you have a heart issue, if you need dialysis, many patients complain about that. We have about 400 plus patients, I understand, in this country need dialysis. They can't afford it. It's very, very expensive. And if you don't get a donor, if you're not able to do the operations, you are going to be suffering. So it is a big issue when you have limited resources as a country, or if the government is telling you they have limited resources, and then you look on the other side of the coin and you see contractors robbing you and getting away with millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. Something got to be wrong with the people that govern this country, or something got to be wrong with the regulators and the engineers and the rest of the folks there what are we doing in the United States? Bibi Shabiru Hussein is saying that it's 1,300 USA dollars to pensioners about for old age per month for the United States. Well, we're not asking for so much. Even $800 is going to be about 170,000 Guyana dollars. That could comfortable be something that's comfortable for the older folks who don't have a lot of needs, like the young people like myself who got kids in school, who got stuff to pay, who got vehicles to maintain, insurance to pay, and so on. I pay a lot of stuff at the end of the month. My salary is not that fantastic, so I have to watch what I'm doing, how I manage my money, the little that I earn at the newspaper, so I could be able to not be in debts at the end of the month. And these are things I'm not afraid to talk about. Do we have another call in line? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing?
Mr.
Gildari, yes, go right
Mr.
ahead.
Gilari. Hi, this is Auntie Janet calling. Good
How are you doing, ma'am?
afternoon.
Long time no hear.
Yeah, I'm not well. I have a valve or what you call it in my right hand.
Oh my.
I have to go every morning to take a 1,000, I don't know if it's milligrams or mg or what you call it. It's an injection for 7 days. And the injection name is CEFTRIAXONE. Remember, I went and when I met you.
Yeah.
Yes. I went to another doctor because I didn't get the result at the first doctor I was going. They were only giving me Panadol, and they told me that I was having an infection. So if I have an infection, I asked the doctor to kindly send me for get an X-ray. And all of the day they gave me Panadol, and I came home and the fever was there. So I decided to go somewhere else. When I go to the doctor didn't tell me immediately what he wanted to tell me. He said, I'm going to heal you. He sent me to get an X-ray, and the X-ray and some tests. And when I brought the X-ray to him, there were 7 nurses. He speaking other twang, I can understand. And when I saw 7 nurses around me, I know I was in danger. And then he put in a tube in my right hand, and he gave me injection. And what he had to tell me. And then he said, Mads, I'm going to make you alive. You want to never live to see Christmas. And I was in tears, and I want to say thank God for this doctor that saved my life. But,
thank you very much for that.
Yes, but the next thing, I'm talking about this land next to me. The southern land. I went to this guy when you're coming into my entrance. It's the street before. He's doing a caretaker work. I asked this guy to come and read his land. Mr. Kedai, let me tell you something. He have thing going in. I lie down at the back there to take breeze in the morning. There's a big elephant, a big like alligator. The thing coming in my house. And I have this thing. Right now I have this thing in my hand. When I go enough to take me injection, when I come my whole place from when the kitchen down is carpet. Right? The water inside my place. When he reading, he cut in the thing, cause he actually read with the thing where you call it catgut. Don't cut with the blade. He say he going in the water to read it. And cut in the zinc at the bottom and the galvanized zinc, right? Now when I come, the water full. All in the receive, all inside the place, the receiver full. And I go and tell him to come and read the place. He didn't come in. But I went NDC where I complained to him. You tell me to go. I sat down there up to 10 o'clock and me see nobody. I left message there, but I get fed up. No, I can't do nothing with
all right, look, don't think. I can talk to the NDC for you.
All right,
I know the folks there. I'm going to deal with them and send them.
Thank you so much. Tomorrow is my last day for injection. It's 7 months.
I'm glad that you're better, and I'm glad that you're very upbeat about it.
But I spoke at home when you wasn't there. But I'm feeling much better with the fever now, and thank God.
Thank you very much,
yes,
dear.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye. So in the meantime, dear, let me tell you what is one of the big news. We've been talking about oil. So far, we have collected about $148 million US dollars. This is like about almost 30 billion Guyana dollars. This is 10% of our annual budget, and this is from the oil. Since we would have started in December last year, we have been collecting oil and royalty from the production of oil there. and that is what we've collected so far. Almost $30 billion is sitting there. Is that enough? Should we get more? That is definitely the big question that's on the table. We're supposed to get maybe 5, 6, 10 times more than that because of the amount of oil and the quality of oil that we have there. So that's the news right now with regards to that. We go very quickly to see what our people are saying there. And of course, we have many things there. Mr. Gildari, 170 is the cost of the colonoscopy. Sorry. This is a test in Guyana right now. $170,000 is the cost for that. And so somebody has been asking. It is really, really difficult for some of those folks. Excuse me, my mouth getting dry. 1 second. Mr. Gildari, did Mr. Lall get a response on Donna Ramatar to the letter you wrote him recently? Just collected my NIS pension book this morning for the next 6 months, and I will be 65 next year, June, and I hope to start getting old age pension. I think there is a short time, and this is my good friend. He is a heck of a, photographer, and he's 65, but he looks 20. I want to say good day to you, sir. I hope that you're able to put in very early for that old age pension and get it. Sir, it's over 5 to 6 years that the trench didn't clean. This is at the back of the horse tent, and the people start squat by the coker in horse tent with horse pen. Better now the trenches will not clean. Yes, thank you very much. That's what we've been talking about because when you have squatting, it really, really impedes you, especially on reserves that are in areas. There's a reason why government keep reserves. The reserves like on the sea dam, on the along the sea area, along the river dams and so on. There's a reason why they do that, because they must be able to have access to it. If anything happens, if you put people to live on it and you start, doing any kind of activity, you could hamper with the integrity of those dams and so on. And you could see this water. We've been talking about no jokey water. The rivers start coming in, and there's a piece there that they find there. It could be a catastrophe there that could cause some severe flooding. On the sea area, we have many areas along Guyana that people are squatting, and it's a big issue. On the west coast of Demerara, there many areas that people have been complaining about that they're doing it. Even in the Parika area there, that we have people. So it is an issue, and what this person is saying, they're very, very, very true. We have to be very careful, and they need to tackle it holistically for the better of Guyana. Hi, good day. The boat not left yet at the Escobar at 5 this morning. I'm not sure. I raised this issue here. I'm going to raise it back with the minister. Good day, Leonard. And I think the Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgel, has been meeting with all the boat people and all the wives and everything. I think he's going to be very serious about dealing with issues with boats and timings and things like that. Was there any technical issues, mechanical issues that would have seen or consistently see this boat being late, or has it been because of human error, fault, negligence? We don't know. I'm going to raise it with him and let him look into it. Good day, Leonard. Housing really need to do something about these gigantic potholes in the New Providence Phase 3. The Loom streets do not have names, so they do not need. They need to visit this scheme and see the condition under which residents' vehicles have to drive through. Please ask the minister to visit this to see the streets condition. Thank you very much. I did. I'm going to ask them again to do that. Thanks to the government for the $25,000 cash grant. Very good initiative, and this is coming from Fort Island on the Escobar River there. Thank you very much, folks there. Good afternoon, sir. Commend you for the good work. Keep it up, whoever you are. Thank you very much for that. This is Kaieteur Radio. Tuned in. We can get realer than this. Good day, Leonard. The authorities should take keen interest in the Venezuelans squatting illegally. This could damage the community because these illegal Venezuelans are bringing in guns and drugs. This is very dangerous. I'm not sure about the guns and drugs. I will not rule it out. What we do know, and what we're going to start with at the moment, is talking about it, raising the issue about where we are with our migration policy, because it has to be done. We're not saying refuse. That's not what we're saying. Get it right. what we're saying, do it in a systematic and a very controlled manner. At least you would start registering so we know who is there. What are some of the skills? Do we have Venezuelans coming here? It's an oil country. Do we have expertise there that would have been coming here, people who would have lost their jobs? Could we tap into those expertise there? These are some of the things that we need to think about as we go forward. But we cannot sit down and do, as the minister would say, diddly squat about it. Good afternoon, Leonard. Kudos to the Honorable Minister of Education. I like the response. And let me go very quickly here. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'd like to say good afternoon to my love. Okay. Let me see. I think this is this morning. They want to say good day to the sister. Good afternoon to the sister there. I'm watching the Wake Up Guyana show. Thank you for contacting. Okay, there's another one there. Good afternoon to you, Leonard, to all listeners. I just want to say congratulations to the 100 days in office to the PPPC with God blessing always. So we did say, let us see how that goes. Do we have another caller online? Good afternoon, caller in the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
My brother, I hear you saying about the Venezuelan them there and the Sudan.
Yeah, could you lower your volume on your radio? Take off the radio completely so you could talk to us.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
And you got to look at, you say the NDCs, they are not getting the truck to go and clean the drains or whatever. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening. Go right ahead.
But you got to know where the NDCs, them, they're sleeping.
Well, that's the issue. That's the issue that we have. Where were these people when these things are happening? You're supposed to be in charge.
People can't do it one night or one day. They got to do it months ago. The NDC need to be restructured. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you about and more NDC already. But all over this country, you get these problems. The NDC supposed to got a ranger who's supposed to go around the areas, the direct area where they're looking after, and see everything upright and carrying reports. But everybody there in the office, they asking about woman and man. So I go in and more NDC. And if you hear that chairman, how he gaffing, I have to sit down and wait. They gaffing nothing but NDC. They gaffing about woman and girlfriend and boyfriend. And me have to sit down and wait there. When I gone to him, he tell me that, you know me, that me like talk. What me like talk because me talk about the $5 people what they sell. But sir, let me tell you, the NDC need to restructure. Otherwise, I'll put this president into a problem.
I hear you.
Mr. Gedari, the Hagalan people listen to you very well. And Hagalan, I went in there yesterday, and they tell me they want to hear you say, don't let the dog wag the don't let the tail wag the dog. Let the dog wag the tail.
Of course, you can't have the I mean, you voted in people down there and they're there and they're controlling you, and when they're supposed to carry out your wishes and your will, you cannot have that. That's not the way it's supposed to happen.
Well, them by say that if you did it, every time you talk the thing, they'll give one bag at all.
I like it, though. I like it, though. Thank you.
They'll give one bag at every time. That people are targeting, but they're not talking like you.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother.
One step about this NDC, this president got a lot of cronies them who are run the NDCs them. And get them out.
Yes.
Right now, and more got a pump where His Excellency Barajagde give us. Now, when the place don't flood, Mr. Gedari, then they must start the pump, NDC run the pump. Now, when you got your little kitchen garden and if don't flood, and then when the day come and the sun catch and get there out,
yes.
Mr. Gedari, what that happened to we live in a low area in Shariga scheme and more. And this place is so very low that they may dig this place, build the seawall, and there we live. And His Excellency Barajagde gave us a pump, a brand new pump, and still we get in this flood, man. Oh, man. Move them by this open there, man.
All right, I'm gonna address that right now.
Thank you,
very
my brother.
much. God bless you. Bye bye.
Yeah, walk the dog.
Yes, we wagging the dog here. Hey, Mr. There's not a spelling of the name now. The spell Gildari name so different ways. Hi, Dildari. This is Dildari, no, not Gildari. Sorry if I spelled your name wrong. I would like to know if the pension age dropped to 60 years. No, they haven't. This is something they probably need to talk about. Somebody, you need to, let me stop right here. In America, if you want something to happen, at least this is what I was told. You could go to a councilman or a councilwoman and you could say, look, I would like something like this to happen in our community. Could you push it for us? And the council people are your representatives. And they would take it down to see some of the passes of laws or wherever at the forum that they'd have to take it all the way to the Senate and the Congress. You could be able to do that. Do we have those possibilities? Do we know that we could probably be able to talk to our counselors? Have any counselors really been looking after or looking out for the people of Guyana? Have they been doing that? And this is why I'm saying, yes, if halfway through we don't see these people, you have the power within your hands. Start writing. Write into the newspaper, write on Facebook if you have access to that. If you can't get somebody, if you can't do it, get somebody to do it. You must have a grandchild. You must have somebody who could be able to write, who could be able to put these things out here and says, look, Gildari is a councilman down there, and we voted him there, and he has not done anything. You ask him to present anything that he would have done for the people of Grove or Diamond since he was there. What did he do? He need to prove it. I don't need to prove it. He's the one there. And you have the power because elections are going to come again. That is the local government elections. And when they come again, you know what to do. Remember the last time I voted, you said you're going to do this. What did you do? So these are the kind of things. And as the gentleman says, do not allow the tail to wag the dog. That's not what it's supposed to be doing. That's not what you're supposed to be allowing. Start opening the mouth. Do not open your mouth at a rum shop. That way you're going to sit down, or if you're there and your mouth at the top and you can be the best dancer, start dancing for this country. Start talking for this country. That's what you need to do. So far from Tuesday, nobody arrested. The children can't learn anything until next week. Let me see what this person is saying here. Today. So far from choosing nobody arrested. The children can't learn anything until next week. The young man got into the back dam. The police officers both just take a spin in the creek and that's it. The young man, I'm not sure what this person is talking about. Let me see what they're saying here. Good day, sir. Just to inform you that one of our teachers at Bethany Mission Primary School, where's this, was beaten by our midwife's son, who did a lot of criminal acts on more than one occasion, but was covered by relatives. But I think it's time the police should see that he should be disciplined in whatever way. The relatives are asking the community policing group and the village council to settle the matter, but they're tired of settling criminal matters in Bethany. He and other teachers know about the act. He and one of the teachers in hiding right now. My point is, sir, teachers must not be abused by no one. The law forces must do their work seriously. So far from Tuesday to now, nobody arrested him. The police, the children can't learn anything until next week. The young man got into the Bagnam. The police officer both just take a spin in the creek and that's it. The young man auntie claims that she's in control of the Aurora police or somewhere on the Escobar coast, the police station, and she would tell the police what to do and what they have to do. She's living in Bethany. Is this on the Escobar Coast or on Barbies area? But I hope that the police and whoever it is are taking note of this, that the authorities that about the teacher being beaten there are totally unacceptable. I want to send good morning. Okay, this is somebody sending good morning. We send good morning here. It's afternoon right now. So very, very quickly, do we have another caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Gilliard. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. You sound very sprite. Something has happened. You're happy. What happened?
Not in that sense.
Okay.
I'm disappointed.
Disappointed.
This 25,000 we share really embarrass certain people. My brother yesterday, when I look at some people, they've been refused that money. They've been given a farm to full. I wonder how long this farm will take to come back. Anyhow, if somebody living 40 miles from where this office is, that's, they got to pay people to carry this farm X miles. What
are you talking about? I thought this is a house thing. What is happening?
Yes, it's a house thing, but it's disappointing. If you live upstairs and you get title like the people downstairs. It's a whole heap of mix-up story, man. It's really embarrassing. Look, a lady, husband died not long ago. She got some small children. She ain't get because she renting a house downstairs, and the people upstairs are also renting, and they, oh boy.
Which area is this, sir?
New Amsterdam.
Where exactly in Stanleytown, New Amsterdam?
Yeah, what I observe, right, is that you got groups going around paying, and they don't have a standing order. They're doing their own thing.
I'm getting a little upset right now. I did call, speak to a gentleman that was in charge, a senior official in government, and he put me on to somebody. I called yesterday 3 or 4 times, leave my number. This morning again I called because they're supposed to come on the program to explain to the people how this thing is being shared and what happened to those people who signed the pink form. How long after you're going to go back to the people? You know, I have not received any call. I'm not thinking we giving them free airtime here that you don't have to pay. You just come and tell the people what is happening. I don't understand. I'm playing in my mind a couple of things that I want to do, but I understand what it is. You see what happened. We're not quarreling about the timing of this. What we want to know, what is the system that you're using? If you are a tenant, what is the system that is going to be afforded to you? Because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of gray areas that even myself in the meeting are very, very clear about, because they started sharing it out, but there's not a lot of, information coming out about the systems, the methods that they're using.
Yes, Mr. Gar, you're right. The system. It's really embarrassing, but it's really embarrassing. I see some frontline workers cry yesterday. Anyhow, thanks for listening to me, man.
Thank you very much, dear sir. And this is not good enough that we actually have our citizens crying. I mean, I understand. And somebody would say, you know, a lot of people would be joining us and they're saying, you know, we never had this over the last couple of months when the previous government was in. That's not the issue here. The issue has to do with dignity. It has to do with human rights. There's so many other things. And yes, patience. I would say patience. But if you are in the area, there has to be some rules of engagement with the people, with our citizens here, that you could be able to engage them. That says, Gildari, yes, you're a tenant here, and we will fill out the form to make sure that you're not related to the people upstairs, and therefore we're going to come back. How long are you going to come back? Is it going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 day, half an hour? We don't know. Some people complaining that you went on one street and then you didn't go to the other side of the street. We didn't see them back. Did they come back to that other side of the street? We don't know. Do we have a right to ask? Does the people have a right to ask? Of course, because when you're looking where people are desperate right now, things are not happening. We can't blame the people so much right now. Yes, we could encourage them to let's not have a repeat of this year or any other year in the history of Ghana, how long we live. But at the moment, they need the help. It's $25,000 is there. So we need to probably give them some kind of answers. I've reached out. I'm trying my best here. I really want to have the people come on to the show for them to do that. We're not here to have just a talk show. You promoting that. We need to have answers. There are going to be questions that is going to be posed to politicians. There's going to be questions posed to technical officers who are involved in the various ministries and the agencies, and so they need to come and tell the people something. We've gone past the time of, how are you doing with this, sir, and how do you see this country in the next 5 years? That is going to come. Right about now, there's some emergency things that the people need to be told. We are in a pandemic state. People are in desperation mode right now because of, the economy is now starting to do a little better in terms of activities. But still, a lot of people are owing banks, they're owing courts, they're owing so many other things. The lady called the other day, and if you're listening, ma'am, you did call me and tell me about your bills and so on. I did ask you to call me. You did call me. The number that you give me, I can't get the number. So if you're listening, please call me back and give me that number afterwards. In the meantime, I stopped there, but we're going to go back to some of the messages that we have right now. Up to until good day. Up to until now, we have not received the 25,000 new providence. Nobody visited to take information either. As Guyanese, we deserve more than just 25,000. Prices gone up for everything in the stores and supermarket. Fact is, we'd have to look at whether government or treasury could afford it. But the reality is also, you're asking about providence on the East Bank of Demerara. We have not come to Region 4 yet. When I say we, the government, because I don't work with the government. So I hope that answers the question. As soon as it comes out, so I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to bring it out and share it with you people. Good afternoon, Leonard. I have 3 grandchildren living in Interior. Could you please help me out get a tablet for them? I'm living on the East Bank. I'm working on that at the moment. My people did promise me. Good afternoon, Gildari. Pleasant good afternoon to you. I have concern. I wish to raise about the Baggotstone Road. That's the road that leads to the dump site. That road is very bad. Every day, this person sends this thing here. I'm not sure whether you are in automatic mode. Yes, I did send this to the ministry. I'm going to send it back to them again. Good afternoon, sir. If it have a PPP chairman in Ramsek who gives permission to people to squat on government carpet, and I have a tractor, it's very difficult to me to take my tractor into my yard. You need to raise this issue here. You need to take some pictures, send it to the RDC, send it to the Minister of Local Government, send it to the newspaper. You need to do that because I'm not sure why is it. Does it have to be a PPP chairman or a AFC chairman or a PNC chairman? Can't it be a chairman for all? Let's start looking at that. I mean, these are things that boggles my mind. Do we have a call? Okay, I think right about now we are going to be headed back into, take a break. So it is a CARICOM General Insurance Company time, and I must tell you, if you want a better value for better protection, get your ship and cargo covered. Just today, CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and or Knox Streets to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. And so we continue right now. Before we go to the callers there again, so I did inform that gentleman there that's being blocked from entering his yard because of squatters. Complain. You need to start raising these issues here. Write a letter to the NDC, because if the NDC is the chairman who is the defaulter here, or the person, the culprit here, send a copy of it to the RDC as well as to the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Darmlal. We have people could write letters. You just say it and you take pictures and send it, so there's evidence there of something that has been done. Good afternoon. Okay, let me see. Good afternoon, bro. I went to collect my daughter's the school worksheet today at her school, and all the teachers there were doing a good work. Good work to all the teachers at Potential Secondary on the west side. You know, sometimes we beat up on everybody and we forget about the hard-working nurses and the teachers and so on. And teachers also have been working on the severe pressure, severe stress over this last couple months, and especially with the reopening of school, they have to work on the different circumstances. They have to be working from home, maybe have the children, the little babies there, keeping classes while they have to look after it's so many things. Have to deal with the poor quality internet, have to deal with students now learning about dealing with the little tablets, those that are fortunate to have, dealing with the computers, and something you get cut off and you put on back. It's a nightmare every single day. So I want to say good day to these folks here across the river there at the Potential Secondary on the west bank of Demerara. Keep up the good works there, as somebody's giving you kudos. Good afternoon, sir. Fans from Fort Island. Love your program. God bless you. Thanks to the government. And they say, cybercrime. Is it a criminal offense? Is it someone posts false narrative about you on the Facebook account and terrible things about you? Is it an offense? Well, it could be criminal in a certain way. If you make a threat against somebody to kill them, you could report it to the cybercrime. If it is that they're doing something that is going to cost you, maybe take over, you could report it to Facebook. Facebook would either close the account there until they could fix themselves or something. But if somebody is doing like what happened to the GCOM chair, Claudette Singh, somebody went in the height of the elections and threatened to kill her. and she went and complained to the police. The police tracked her down. They have a cyber unit, the police force there, tracked the man down and then put charges on him. So there's a couple of things that you could do. You could report to Facebook, close the account, and then you could, if they've threatened you, you could report it to the police too, especially. So in the meantime, there, before we go back to the line, hi, good day. I think you're doing a good job for the old people. Them, thank you very much. Let me see here. They're going to start circulating a video on WhatsApp that shows the COVID-19 curve is flattening in India. The file is called India's doing it. Do not open it. Okay. Let me see. Very good. Okay. Do we have another caller online there? 226-7453. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Gilari.
How are you doing, sir? Go ahead.
I'm calling here from Enmore.
Enmore, yes.
Yeah. Pertaining to the Enmore NDC, I have no connection there.
Uh-huh.
I went there to pay my tax rates and taxes. And the people there were very cooperative. I also met with the chairman. And I explained certain things to him in the community. And he told me, and he showed me the guys. Right now, they got a ranger running the village. All the trenches and bushes and so. And presently, they are keeping bottom-house meeting in all the different constituencies. And the chairman, I have no connection with him. And to what I see, the chairman are very, very cooperative. That guy called you earlier is a guy living through the same road where I'm living. And he got an old issue with the chairman. That's why he always keep calling in and Bombay is the chairman wrongfully.
I'm glad that we are enlightened in that. All right. So I'm going to deal with that.
The chairman is very, very, very cooperative.
Uh-huh.
And you can speak to him anytime. And that is a big man. Don't go for nonsense.
I like that. I like when people, and you know what? I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
When you ask people to vote you, and I've said this many times before, when you ask people to vote you in to serve either on a board or on any NDC as a mayor or whatever it is, you're asking, you're telling the people that I want to serve you. So the issue of money, of you not being paid and you're serving the people, it's an honor to be able to serve. It should be an honor. So when you see people going to these positions and they're actually doing the job, like we say, keeping bottom house meetings and whatever it is that you're doing, I really take off my hat to them because
presently, right
it is a
now,
good thing.
In all the constituency here, keeping. I think next week they got bottom house meeting in our community. They are going to different constituency.
Mm-hmm.
And he even explain and tell me his office door is open to anybody.
I'm glad to hear that.
This
So
guy
that
attend churches, the Enmore ashram. So when come to girls and so forth, I doubt whether the guy would be in that portfolio.
well, it's 2 and 3 sides to every story because you see we can't control. I mean, unless you do something that I'm gonna have to just cut you off the air.
That guy called and he lived through the same road of me. And he have, since the chairman was a field foreman in the estate, he have personal issues with him. So
All
that's
right.
why he bring forward his right now.
I hear you very, very clear. Thank you very much, sir. So 2 and 3 sides to every story there, and yes, we would have been receiving. And let me make it very clear. We'd have to put some ground rules, some house rules when it comes to how we deal with this program here. This program here, we raise all the issues, and if things affect you in your communities and so on, do not use this program here. And with all due respect to everybody, do not use this program here to take pot shots at anybody politically or otherwise, meaning, you would complain about things and so on and so forth. The 2 issues have been cropping up, especially with Enmore there. It seems as if there's a lot of feelings going on there. One with the policewoman and the other would have been with that NDC chair and the NDC in itself there. Let's be very careful because if I happen to notice that we're heading down a line as if it's a personal issue, we are going to put a stop to it. So let's put some ground rules there. You call and you can make recommendations or you could raise an issue. But if you're consistently doing it, we're going to make some conclusions, and the conclusions is that it's a very personal thing. There are many ways that you could address issues like that, but let's don't make it very obvious, or let's don't abuse the situation that we have here. So thank you very much for that. I just want to do that because I seem to be getting that impression. So let's go back to the line again. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, dear Larry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Dear Larry, they got some Larry just parked next door, Massey and the Rangers. They ain't got there's no proper, we call it, reflect on it, and it's dangerous in the night.
Where is this? Where exactly? This is just by the turn by Bankstone there.
Yes.
This is on the Mandela Avenue in itself, or this is on the East Bank, that road there that runs from La Penitence.
That run from the Penitence, you got to pass it and go home.
Right.
Yes. We had an accident already where they had a big nice about adequate reflectors. Struck in the evening.
So these are container trucks.
Yes.
I'm gonna pay attention to it and see what happens. I'm gonna talk to the policeman about it.
So, secondly, this NIS money, right? This NIS is not something now, Even Gaisuko, they used to got a problem with this NIS. And because it used to go to NIS bundle, and they used to send it back because it didn't used to come in order. So it's not something now, it's an ongoing something. And secondly, you see this thing with the security firms not paying NIS, when they're advertising vacancy, two things I want to promote you for. When they're advertising vacancy, they just ask for ex-military, you must check it out. As you just rightfully said, you said right. You speak about protesting. You said about right. If you can't write, get some grandson or somebody who could write. Right. If not, go and make nice. Most of them that got military training, they know what to do. They know how to use a gun and etc. Let they find a way to do it. What I'm calling this program Occupy Time about.
Well, a lot of people don't know. I mean, I think that people just want to talk to somebody.
But as you rightfully said, they need to protest. I don't only, Freddie Kessoon said something already. A lot of them like protest in the house and the typewriter, and they like use the phone. They don't want to practically go there and protest. As you rightfully, you preach it every day in your program. They got ways and means how you just protest without being abusive to anybody. But they don't want to do it. They want their cake to come home and meet them. You know one thing about Freddie? When Freddie didn't make any nice, he used to hold his head and actually pull out the hair, begging young people to take possession of this country. And he used to use reference. He used to use the developed country about the kids them that go into university in terms of the behavior. England had some problem, and by the time you blink, if you see youth in the streets, and these people here to sleep in. They want people like me, Glenn Lall, Freddie, and etc. They want we to protest for them to be in the house again. It don't work like that. They got to stand up.
But a lot of people too, you're so right, caller. You're so right. A lot of people want the government to do everything for them, and they're not seeing that, look, this thing is not about government just running this country. It has to be the people too. When I say you have a responsibility of starting, let's be very disciplined about garbage, about seeing things, about not promoting any kind of corruption with the police and things like that. So many things that could go wrong that we just tolerate because you know what? It's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing.
If it's like that, you can't be like mice.
No, you can't.
Stand up and don't be. You gotta get a line between abusive and standing up. When you're standing up to the system, you ain't gotta be abusive to nobody. You're just standing up for your rights. But they want to be home, as Freddie said, and do it on the phone or the typewriter. And the ones that choose to stand up, they gain from it. And then yet still, they got some of them who just choose to criticize you when you choose to stand up. But you ain't going to get service. If you don't choose to stand up, you ain't going to get no service. Like, for instance, this 25,000 we share now, it's not the government money. It's my money, your money. Yourself, I ain't employed at a stationary place. When I go to buy food or go to buy clothing or something from a hardware store, I pay VAT. And the VAT that I pay in, and I got other things that I pay in tax on, like me license and road service and etc. Is the money coming back to me? So it's not the government taking their money out, and for you to get this service, you got to get system in place. System in place, as you rightfully point out. Don't push to corruption. Like, for instance, the money we're sharing out. For sure the money can get confusion. But it's money. People can come up with all kind of ideas how they could pick out and push in the pockets, friend. It's money. but you got to stand up. If you choose to stand, look, even in with the elections and etc., even critics come to me say, "See, asking question. I just want my face be in the camera because I ain't protesting. You know, how you got to go out there and let people see you raise a question and prior to raise question, stand up for what you think is right."
Thank you very much. You got the right attitude, partner. You have the right attitude. I like that. All right.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man. You too, man. Thank you very much for coming through. So, in the meantime, let's go quickly back to some of those messages. Let me see what we have here. Let me see. Today, in my view, it's better not to give this $25,000 grant if to anyone if you leave out a part of our society. This is only divide our people. I don't think it's deliberate. I think it's they're doing it systematically. They go into the houses. What I rather believe. They go into the houses or the homes which are owned, or the people could produce documents that they are the owners for that home and they're giving it to that. The others, let's say that you're renting, I think they're keeping that back for the second phase. But what happens if you're renting an entire house and you're the only ones there? So these are little gray areas. I'm not very sure what is the methodology. We need to tell it to the people, because people are asking the question, people are watching, and people are saying, what is happening here? What is it that you're doing there? And this is why I'm so upset that I called several times, for this guy, for us to be very clear. Let us tell everybody to tune in tomorrow or yesterday or whenever, so we can have some answers going. And they're not answering, they're not calling. They're very, very busy. They're very busy. And so I'm going to go back and talk to them again. Gildari, Monday I went into GR to renew my driver's license. The president said the fee dropped, but I paid $4,500 to renew my license. What's going on in GRA? Running the country are President Ali, GRA robbing the poor people. They are doing some dishonest people. There are some dishonest people working there, need to be fixed. And the person did send me, let me see what it says here. Yes, they sent me the thing that $4,500 that I paid. In the meantime, let me see very quickly. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildari. The Better Home NDC, the Better Hope NDC do nothing. The street flooding for over 10 years. Every time you call for them to come and see, no one come. I have the names of the person who I can call. Write a letter to the NDC. Again, I'm not sure if there's a new NDC chairperson. Copy that letter to the RDC. There's a Triumph headquarters there for the RDC, the Regional Democratic Council there. Copy a letter to them, and you could also send a copy. In fact, I strongly recommend that you send it to Nigel Darmlal as the Minister of Local Government. He's been very active. In fact, all the ministers have been very active and responding. As soon as you send something to them, you could guarantee that before the day is out that they're going to answer, at least the answer to me, and which is a very good thing. I like that kind of proactive kind of stance that they're taking there. Good day. I would like you to find out from the Minister of Home Affairs when they'll be issuing transport for the area. Minister of Home Affairs. Why they got to be okay, let me read what it's saying. I would like you to find out from the Minister of Home Affairs when they'll be issuing transports for the area of Anchorville, Area R, Anchorville, Port Morant. I have applied since 2000 and got through 2014. I paid in full, and every time you go to follow up with them on the transport, they said they are waiting on somebody to sign off the document. So we have the transport, but we don't have it as yet. Please find it. Good afternoon, my dear. I'm so fed up with these people. We live in Port Morant at the NDC, the sleeping chairman, and the council doing nothing for the people of Port Morant. I did receive a note that the NDC chairperson in the Port Morant area there, not a chairperson, I think it's the overseer, was fired because she allegedly stole $8,800, and this would be collecting monies from the stall holders and so on, and then somehow doing some kind of what my boss would call jiggery pokery with the accounts there, and there were two receipt books, and somehow the money ended up and they found her. And then somebody decided to interview the same person within days for another position. So that is a big story that is going to be breaking news. I hope that is not true, that we're not that stupid. But what is happening here? It is the Central Housing and Planning Authority that has to do with house lots and giving you those things. You need to be checking, keep checking with the ministry, the Ministry of Housing. I think they're looking into those matters at the moment. It's overwhelming. It's a lot of issues that's happening. There are thousands, 50,000 plus applications they're looking at. So I think we got to be a little patient with that. It's confusing there. Sorry, good day to you, your boss, and your listeners. I was hearing a lot of complaints about what the NDC is not doing. But what are they doing to assist the NDC and the communities? Aha, here's another person that's asking, what are you doing to assist the NDCs and the community? Take, for instance, a rainfall. How many of them made a little outlet so the water could run off? Today, right in front of the house of a big one in government on the East Bank, there was a large pool of water. All it needed was digging a little outlet. Come on, people. All are involved. All are consumed. Thank you very much. Be safe. And I like this person here. It is not only to the NDC, and this is something that I've been saying. It's not only to the government that you would have to look out to do some things. You have to take the initiative also. You don't have to say, the government ain't coming and clean this area and you're not cleaning the gap. How long does it take for you to get in front of your yard and make sure, yes, you're working, but it takes a couple of things. You got to learn to manage the time. What is important? What is priority? What are we doing to uplift our neighborhood? When was the last time that we got together, all the citizens there or all the neighbors, and says, look, we need to uplift this community. What could we do across there? If that is an empty lot there, what could we do to make sure that this community is uplifted so we could keep it clean? It could become a model community or model street, a model block. What are you doing? Have you done that? Have you thought about that? What have you done to make sure that your neighbor is not affected by whatever it is that you have in your yard, whatever it is that you're doing in your yard? So we need to start thinking and thinking out of the box. 226-7453. Do you have another caller on the air? Caller, good afternoon. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Man, every day I look forward to hearing from you. What do you have for us today?
Today I'm a bit angry just as you are. And I agree with the caller earlier. I think his name is Mr. Gill. But there are many people who want you to represent them, but they don't just get up for themselves. You must call him and say, you must do this. I spent a good chunk of 5 years helping a lot of people and men around this country for free, standing up for them. And sometimes you get tired because you got to learn to stand up for yourself. And I'm even tempted to intervene into this more NDC thing because I personally know for sure that the person just called is related to the LDC chairman. But I'm not going to get into that. They're going to know when I show up in the area and deal with that. The problem I have is dealing with this whole story with this farm, 25,000. Whoever's the idea, the thinker behind this was very foolish. Because at the end of the day, many people are renting properties. Many of the homes that you go to, both people are renting properties. What is this whole thing with the pink slip? It is 25,000 per family. You're collecting their ID cards. You should put it in a system that nobody can double dip. But why would you go away? Look how long it is. I made a joke when this thing started, and it seems to be true. I said that the people in Region 4 will get their 25,000, and if any hampers are going to share during Christmas. Because PPP has a habit of doing these things in Region 4 for Christmas bonus, something to calm you down. It was poorly planned out, and I am one who protested, although I supported the Granger government when they raised the salary 50%, to the extent that I was standing out there with a placard and I was in trafficking paper. So why am I not talking? Because I just talk. You have to do your job. I listen to people calling and say you got tired because me now gone in. When I get a job, my boss don't tell me, well, you got 6 weeks to catch yourself and then you got to do the job. From the minute I get the job, I got to start working. And anybody running for politics in any country, the minute you get it, you got to start doing the job. You're not doing us a favor. You came for elected vote and said that you can do the job. You didn't say you can take 100 days to do the job. You got to do the job. And this system with this thing, that many people have not gotten their money. You come to the house and only the owner gets it. What madness is that? I'm very upset over this system, and now the people pushing you around. They can't come from your radio station and just tell you what it is. These people are supposed to be working for us. And again, I come back to the NDCs. If our NDC systems will function in this country, they would know who living here, who's renting here, who's the principals. But they do not come around. They're shit in their offices. Thank you very much. I'm very upset. I listen to your comments.
Thank you very much, Zia. And I'm not sure whether I want to repeat what I've been saying over and over and over. it cannot be up to the government, and we have got to learn to understand that there are various levels within government. And if you understand how the country is structured, like so many other countries, so there's the legislative arm of the government, which is Parliament, which is the one with all the ministers and so on, and the opposition people, the parliamentarians there that makes the laws. Then there's the executive, which is the president and the ministers and so on. They do their part. There's the judiciary, and what's the other one that I miss in there? But in any case, there's four levels of government. But when you understand that part of the government system that we have in Guyana is at the local government side of things. So the government, the ministers are not going to be the one who's going to be in the community. If you live in a Diamond, I live in Diamond there. They're not going to be there to carry out some of those functions of garbage collections and digging up the drains and weeding the parapet and whatever. They're the ones that's there that are supposed to know every street. They're supposed to know everybody that live there, or at least know who live in that house if you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yes, you may have 20,000. I could remember living in Enmore years back in the 80s, and I was very, very young. And every single day, every afternoon when the fishman come, it was a big bacchanal, everybody talking. In fact, if the people do what they used to do then now, there would have been a big issue. People used to go and actually turn over the fish. I don't like how this fish looking or it's smelling today. They even smelling it too. But it was all those back in those days. I think it was an acceptable thing. But the point is that you would know everybody living within those communities. What you have right now is that they come in, you see them once in a while. If you ask Gildari, who's probably the overseer or the chairperson, I think the chairperson for Diamond Grove now, Gita Ramnarayan, I think it is, has gone to become the deputy permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education on the Prematic Chan. So what you have right now is a bunch. You ask anybody in any community, maybe on the coastlands there. I can't tell you about the hinterland area because everybody know each other there. Who are the council members, or name me all 10 or 14 council members that are sitting there. They could probably not name 5. And that's, I could guarantee you that. I put my money, my little money that I have on the table, and tell you that. Because that is the reality of it. So we have got to be very, very careful and be very clear that when it comes to running this country, how long we don't educate our people or educate the councillors before you start running for elections or whatever it is. You must have an understanding what is it that you're signing up for as a councillor, as a minister, as somebody else within government. Your job is to serve. And when you're serving, this thing ain't got to do, you sign off at 5 o'clock because that's when the workday is finished. If you see the ministers, some of them ministers, I think I see Zulfi. I call him Zulfi, and Mr. Muslim Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa there. I think I see bags under his eyes. That's because they've been doing it day in, day out, up the Burbis River, somewhere they're there all over the place. Barrett and Irfan has gotten them busy, and that is what I expect of them. Now, what about the NDCs? What about the other RDCs and the main town councils and so on? You guys signed up for this. I didn't ask you to go do that. Have you been delivering? What have you been delivering? You need to start naming and shaming these people. You don't know. You need to learn who are these people, and you need to start pulling them out, talking to them, calling them out. I hope I've answered the question there. So in the meantime, let's go back to some of the comments. Good afternoon. I'm really concerned we're having a secondary education, a secondary college in Region 2. I really think the government official should consider doing this as soon as they can. And this is a very good thing. I like when people make these kind of recommendations. Region 2, the Essequibo Coast there, and if you have it's a big area, lots of farming activities there. And if every community, I think David Grange had spoken about it, and it may sound nice politically, but really if you put it into practice, it may be a good thing for this country. If you could move, like how the United States of America does it, that every state should be self-sustaining, meaning that they have They have their own governance system there. They have their own tax system there. They have their own schools. They have their own GRA. They have maybe a passport office. They have a police headquarters down there, or a mini headquarters, whatever you want to call it, a commander. But everything that is there, that you don't have to leave the region to come to Georgetown to renew your driver's license. You don't have to leave there to come out and maybe do passport applications. You don't have to leave there to do a fitness for your vehicle. You have insurance companies that are there. If you want to complain to something, or you want your laws to be made, there is a parliamentarian that you could reach out to, because he represents your area. Do you know who represents your area in the Essequibo Coast or in Diamond there? Do you know that? Well, these are things that we need to get ourselves involved in, to be aware of, educate ourselves, lift yourself, lift your standards to another level. So, we need to start getting ourselves, like I've always said, get yourself aware, get yourself educated, make yourself understand who are the players, and start pushing the buttons. Push the buttons so they could start doing what they're supposed to do. Do not be dependent on just Irfan Ali and Barjak. They could instruct the people to do. But if they don't do their jobs, we are going to be blaming the government, because ultimately the buck stops at the president, the buck stops at the ministers, and they're going to be the ones to be blamed. Are we being fair? Are we really putting our attention where they're supposed to be? Should the ministers actually be on top of those those NDCs? Do they have the time for that? There's so many things that a minister got to do, and we have to understand they have to make laws. They're supposed to be running. The running of the ministry is left up to the permanent secretary. At the RDC level, it's up to the REOs and so on. So very quickly, let's go back to our lines. Do we have a caller on the line? Good afternoon, caller in the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Mr. Leonard, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Could you lower your volume or take off your radio completely?
So lower on the radio for a minute.
Thank you.
Lower on the radio there. I'm calling. Get the low on the radio for a minute. Okay, sorry. I call in and concern the $25,000. I just like to make a point. Many people who are living in renting house, they don't get regular work, right? Some of them have 2-day, 3-day work a week. And I think those people who are renting this place, they're more important, and they more need this $25,000. Because every month they have to pay their rent, they have to pay their light bills and whatever, right? So I think that the important is that the people who are tenants, they need this money.
Which area are you living in, ma'am?
I'm calling from Horstellin.
And in Horstellin there, they haven't come to Region 4, but are you aware of any other areas where they would have delivered the $25,000 to? And what would have been the experience with regards to tenants?
No, well, I didn't know I live in Horstellin, but what my point I would like to make about concerning that, right? And there's another thing. There's people who squatting on the sea down there over the horse selling part by the coca there. The chairman need to come up this side and take a walk and see. These people them are taking the reserve now. That's why the high muck or whatever has to come clean from the coca go out. They are making horse spin.
What are they doing? They're making what?
Horse spin.
Horse spin?
Yes.
Is this our local people, or is this Venezuelans and so on?
No, this is body who born and grew up in Horstellin. They go make a house on the sea dam.
Well, they got a very good chairman down there. His name is Romel Rupnarayan. He's a very aggressive young man that I know. And you
this same person we're talking who make the horse spin there, he live on the sea dam and Horstellin back there. And he have a pen with pig at the sea defense there. He have mine raise pig, breed pig and raise pig and sell. Now he make a horse pen right in front of the coca. If any high maker come clean from the coca house, the horse pen down there all to over the train. So over this side for farm, over that side.
Make a contact there with your NDC chairman there and let him start. Maybe he's not aware, or maybe somebody needs to prod him a little. But he's very aggressive, Roman Rupnarain is.
I know, I know him.
Yeah, tell you that you spoke to me, and I tell you that, that I would expect him. I know that he don't allow things to slip by. He's very strict.
Yeah, but when one body go make a horse spend there, more go come and put it on there too.
Right, it sets an example, and you see, we can't turn our eyes, because when we allow, it's like a little sore, you scratch it and it's something that's spreading. You keep scratching it keeps spreading, and by the time you catch yourself, you should have started, putting medicine very early in that. So we need to start putting the medicine on these things very early. I think we waited too long with that Grove 2 horse selling, camping out on the sea dam there. And let me tell you that there's going to be some issues there, because with rising sea waters and what is happening with our spring tides, we're going to have some serious issues.
Flood of the water yesterday when the 2 days rainfall, the water in the trench gone level to the dam.
I can imagine, and the health issues, you could have outbreaks and all those kind of things that's happening there.
And many people place flood out inside here. Many people place flood because the water come up so high. And the next thing, for selling clinic don't have any insulin until now.
I was trying to get the inspector general. He told me somewhere and let him there. I couldn't get him. I'm going to try calling him back. I don't know what to say to you. I'm going to try to raise these issues back again.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear. So we tune in. We have a couple minutes more, less than 20 minutes more. You tune into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, coming to you live from our studio here on Saffron Street. And you could also get us on Kaieteur Radio Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. We're coming to you live on 99.1 in Esquibo and Demerara. And if you're in Berbice, you could get us on 99.5. I see Riaz in the studio here, WR Riaz. Did you walk with anything today to the studio?
Today?
It's been 1 week.
My phone?
I'm not sure. Is there
My
any
phone.
sweetmeats? Anything?
Sweetmeats.
Any sweetmeats?
No, I'm waiting on Raj. Diwali is coming up.
What Raj has to do with a Muslim holiday?
Oh, we still on that?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't forget.
Oh,
The people keep reminding me about Edmore all the time. I got to remind you.
You might remind me about the sweetmeats.
Right.
I see. I'll take note of it.
Right.
I'll make a mental note of that.
Very quickly, what is happening with the U.S. elections here?
The U.S. elections, there's more, let's not use that word. There's more discomfort in the U.S. elections. Demonstrations have started to gather in cities now outside elections office amidst elections tensions. There's been a small group that gathered at the swing state office, which is a little bit outside in Pennsylvania. This has been occurring since last night, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
This has been happening since last night. Then we've also had some. It's alleged that Rudy Giuliani and Eric Trump had a press conference, and according to media operatives, with lots of falsified information on that. The vote continues. I heard the Attorney General of Pennsylvania said that they could release info as far as up to Friday, but they are working hard. What is keeping it all back, or what has been this tit for tat, is that the Democrats went to the courts to pass a motion for postal mail with less verification. It did happen. Less verification means you didn't need an ID, you could just vote and that's it.
Oh, okay.
The Republicans were against it. We heard that President Trump this all occurred a few months ago, and they utilized it because of COVID. They gave him people a chance to do that. We heard that President Trump said that is a room and for fraud, and they are in that direction. They have taken Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, and another state that they're taking to court. But from the political pundits are saying that is stall for time, and that it's not going to hold up altogether. All the votes must be counted. I kind of find something.
No, well,
I find a deja vu something when I heard.
I was about to use that. I was about to say that exactly.
Today's word. Deja vu.
Deja vu, which simply means this thing sounds very familiar.
Now
Was I there? Was I
Hear this. This is what is interesting. Heard this in Guyana. No recount. We will not recount. Let us use the figures that was released.
All right. Let me do another echo here too. Only valid vote counts, dear sir. Only valid vote counts.
Then
Okay.
I am hearing from the mighty US of A. Stop the count.
In any case, there is
words.
the United States government is breaking news now. The United States government has sent a plane to Guyana, and on that plane is Leonard Gildari, Raj, and Riaz heading to America to see how we could.
I don't know what happened to my selector 2 days. I don't know if he's stuck in the US. He went and voted, or he's in. I don't know where he is right now, Raj. I don't know where his selector Andy. So I don't know if he got a plane ahead of us.
So it's deja vu, yes.
Deja vu.
Yeah. So there's a strange, familiar feeling here.
Yeah.
And we're watching because I think even some people start calling it now that,
Yeah,
you know, somebody says that was Guyana the dry run?
The dry run.
Was Guyana the dry run
Yes,
for
I've heard-
something?
I've heard that.
We're not calling anything because we know on this show here we have lots of people, some for Trump, some for Biden. So we're not going
I'm
to say
not
that.
calling it.
Right,
I am not calling it. I'm simply saying that I'm seeing strange way of politics, but things that we know about in Guyana.
2020 is a very, very weird
A
year.
very, very weird and strange year altogether.
So it is, we have like about 10, 15 minutes to go there. You tune into the Wake Up Guyana show. And guess what? This is a people's show. So we go back to the lines again, 226-7453. We don't have any callers there, but we do happen to have some messages. And let me see what it is that they're saying here. Yeah, very quickly. Mr. Leonard, I have a complaint from Glasgow Village, East Bank, Babies. Myself and mother-in-law living in one yard, but different houses. On Sunday they came. The COVID-19 cash grant team was by me and told my mother-in-law living at the back. And I told him my mother-in-law living at the back. She's not at home. They say if she come back and they're still in the village, let she go by them. And she went along with the neighbor because the guy wasn't home too. When they go reach them, the girl that handed over the money was very rude. She told them not to enter the yard and let them go back to the house. And from Sunday to now, these two people don't have their money. So many stories that are coming out, and these are what we need to ask. I'm not sure what to say except to tell these people here, go to the NDC, let them file a complaint there or raise the issue there and tell them and see what happens. I would like to know because not a lot of people coming back and say if they've come to cases like this, whether the people went back and give them the money, what is happening. So we need to know. Good afternoon. I'm texting from Region 3. Over here now, we run to the NDC for drainage. We ain't getting no drainage here at Port Drawing. We live in the last of the yard, and the middle house of the block. The middle house blocked the drainage. Water already gone up, but the yard is still flooded with water. Thank you very much for that. These are issues that need to be raised here. I'm not sure.
RM Singh, yeah, I've heard of that as well too, that President Trump is claiming that the signature on the file does not match signature on the ballot envelope. I heard of that also. I heard of counting representatives not being in close proximity to see the actual count. We're seeing it all, but we're not going to raise all the issues that we're discussing here because our main focus is not the U.S. elections. We just add a little piece into it. I'm sure you follow Fox, CNN, ABC, NBC. They're on 24 hours of the U.S. election. So yes, RM Singh, I'm aware of that also, but we may not bring all the issues with what we're hearing in the U.S. at the moment on this program.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm looking at some of the reporters that are doing the job, and they've been working some fantastic hours. You could almost.
They remind me of some. And I saw my very good friend Neil Marks has been throwing some tantrums on Facebook, as in he know the feel, he knows.
No, right. Because let me tell you this. I can remember coming on, and I never talked so much on radio like early March. We went a couple of days, and my throat, everything started. I could barely speak at one point.
I heard Dr. Yog Mahadia was living in that one room only for at least 18 hours a day.
It is a room with a black background.
Yeah, that room.
I want to
heard
say
that.
good day to Dr. Yog Mahadi. I understand he's going to come back to Kaieteur Radio. I understand Glenn was whispering something, but he didn't. He says don't talk too much. And so I'm not going to say anything. But Yog is going to be back. Wherever you are, Yog, whatever it is that you're doing, do not say that you're cooking, but I want to say good day to you and the family and whatever it is that you're doing. I hope that you have been able to transform the rag into something that is more like a towel or something that's going to be. But there, enough jokes there. 2267453. Do we have a caller online? We don't have a caller online, so let's go. Yes, we do. Good afternoon, caller in the air. Go right ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Gilary.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, man, you know, remember a day I call and tell you about this bandits at best?
The bandits at best?
Bandits.
Bandits?
They don't have.
Oh, they don't have any bandits up to now? They don't got it?
I went again and they don't have bandits, they don't have ID, they don't have tape.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't know what's really going on with the management here.
So insulin at horse selling, bandits at best.
Bandits, iodine, and tape now. Now, what are the admin doing there? What are the people doing at this hospital? They ain't doing nothing?
I don't know what to say to you there. These are basic. I can understand if you don't have insulin because that's more of something. But simple thing like a bandage, where are we?
Iodine, bandage.
It seems as if we're back in the 80s now.
No, you have to walk with these things to go there. I don't know. So if you don't have, you can't go.
I hear what happened. You can call me back after this because I'm going to get somebody to do a story about this thing here. The man had to walk with his own bandage to the hospital.
Yeah.
Call me on the office line.
All right, good.
Thank you, my brother. So good afternoon, Gildari. Your balance, but don't excuse the leadership. If Kaieteur News slips up when it comes to Mr. Lall, the buck stops at the head. You're right. I was trying to make the thing that we got to spread some of these. We were having a conversation, Riaz, talking, we have different levels of government, meaning that the president is not going to come clean it back forward. The NDC got to do their job.
Yeah, there are levels of government that all need to play in together.
Right.
And the perception of society is that if that drained in clean is the government fault. That is the mindset of us, and I use the word us. Now, but their leadership that leads to the president. Now, if you are the president, you may not be able to tell me what's happening way down in this backlands because he may have different individuals, and a minister may pass that on to the NDC pass that on to the chairman pass that on to a foreman, and a foreman pass it on to someone else. There's that chain that of governance. And yes, you may get a report. Maybe the report didn't come in time. I'm not picking up at it. But what I'm trying to make the point is that there is levels and chain of government. So not every little tit for tat you blame the government. However, they're responsible, I understand. But what I would like to see is more, of which I'm not aware of all these NDCs and RDCs, a little bit more community work with those individuals.
Have you ever run for anything in your life other than maybe running away from a house or something?
As it is. No, I'm not getting into politics.
The reason why I'm asking that question, Riaz, is that you would hear stories of when you're running for elections, especially when you campaign, and it's a lot of hard work. What are you campaigning for? Is it to go sit in a seat and say that you're a councillor?
Yeah, that is the thing.
I have an issue with that.
I understand the point that you're making, and that's if you were working hard during that period of time, then I'm assuming that you would want to continue to work hard for the same set of people. All right? Look what we're seeing right now in the U.S. elections. You know what's happening? So far, we're hearing that the Republicans will win the Senate. Let us break that down
So if you have a Democrat president, what you gonna? But it's good, I like things like that. But it might stop. It might stop.
Yeah.
It might stop a couple of things.
This is how, and I mean, it's not called this yet, but these are what all they, and this is what I mean here. And I'm a person that listens to about as much as I can in terms of the networks, a few of the networks, including Fox, including CNN. Some don't like CNN, some don't like Fox. Then I'm gonna look at CBS and ABS and NBC also. They're saying that it could go down the road as a Republican Senate. Now, let's just narrow this down because it'll take me a long time to explain the Senate and how the U.S. politics work, though I'm still learning it altogether. Let us just put this in a narrow perspective. This is just to explain to Ghana. So let us use the Senate as parliament, and let us use the Republicans as the more seat in parliament. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm just trying to break it down. Of course, this is not like that, but I could go down. It'll take me long with the time to run out as to explain the Senate and how it's elected and how it's run.
Right.
But that's it in a nutshell. And I'm hearing that you're saying that Republicans going to win the Senate.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Let's see how that goes. But back to some of the comments that we have from our people here on 62222. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildari. My issue is with the market, both Border and Stabrook. You have to pay $1,000 for parking to deliver goods and hire cars parked all around. And they don't pay anything. I'm not aware too much of that, how that works. I'm going to try to get some information.
Nope, I'm saying you should not come down. If you're the CEO and you hire persons to sweep and clean, you should not come down and do it. You have persons. I understand that you're alluding to the point that I made about the president and the arms of
Right. It is. Good afternoon. I have a problem in Region 1 with my land at Port Kaieteur. The Chinese company buy the land from a man. Not me, and the land belonged to me. I applied for it in 2007. I had the house on it and fruit trees. It broke down everything, and the person is saying that you need to get a lawyer here, or you need to. I think you need to get a lawyer because they can't just buy some land. That's fraud. If you're saying that you applied for it and you got it. So, and the Port Kaieteur is the Chinese company that has been there with the manganese company. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but you need to get a lawyer here. Anything with land issues and so on, it becomes a very technical issue, and even the courts, it's a dispute, and that has to be handled at that level there. Very quickly here, let me see some other messages that we have here. I live in Greenwich Park scheme. I live upstairs. I get the $25,000. My mother-in-law lived downstairs, and she was not at home. And they gave a number to call. They said we'll come back. And when you call, no one answer. That's another side of the story there. Good morning. I think it is. So I think that is it. Do we have another call in line there? Good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead.
I think it is.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Could you turn your radio off completely, please?
Huh?
Turn your radio off.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine.
Tell me, what's bothering you?
This is Mr. Gildari?
Yes, it is, and you are on the air at the moment.
Yes, Mr. Gildari. I tried to get on to you a long time. Mr. Gildari, I want to speak to you on a private, could you take my number?
Or what you could do, call through the switchboard afterwards, and then maybe they could give you a number.
Give me a number, please.
225-8491.
225.
8491.
225-84.
91. 225-8491.
225-8491. You gotta. Thank you, Mr. Gildari. It's important. I need to speak to you guys.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Okay, so you're tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show, and we just running out of time. Very quickly, could we take one more call? Do we have a call online? I think we're out of call, so we call it George with regards to that.
Call it Raj.
Call it Raj. Yes, and we're going to call it Raj. So this is what you need to know. One of the big things you've been asking about your pension books for the old age pension. It is on the Ministry of Human Services Facebook page. They have promised, the minister and the PS have promised that they're going to get it into the newspaper so you can be able to know where to pick it up from. So in the meantime, it's a rainy day. Please stay safe. You've been tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here. We've been coming to you live on 99.1, 99.5. You could also relook at a copy of this, or you could get a copy of this on the Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. We are going to be back with you same place, same time tomorrow. In the meantime, it has been a pleasure as always having you discussing issues on various things that affect you within your community there. And as always, we love you from our studio here to wherever you're joining us from. Myself, Leonard Gildari, and of course, has always been a good co-host, sidekick, whatever. Always dropping in as a guest is W.R. Riaz. We'll say good day to the folks down in our studio too. At the controls there, Raj and others. So stay safe. Until then, we're going to be back tomorrow. And we're going to look forward to keeping you company. Let's see whether we could change things up somewhat tomorrow. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
COVID-19 tips sponsored by Dex Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Dex Soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Dex Soap for that extra cleanliness. Dex Soap is affordable and available nationwide.